Hi, I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation, and the question that we have at hand is, can a married man develop feelings for another woman? And the answer is obvious, because you wouldn't be searching this if you didn't, or if you're the wife, you're wondering, what the heck is going on? My husband is developing feelings for another woman, and you want to know if it's the right thing to do, and it is not. Let's be clear. But the reason why it's happening is very interesting, actually. I mean, it really is. It's kind of a deep question. And I'm going to approach it in a deep way, and then I'm going to approach it in a more normal way, you might say. And if you're a follower, if you're already a subscriber, you know this information is so good. And if you're not a subscriber, you should become one. So let's get into this, okay? First of all, and here's the deep part. The deep part is, everyone thinks you only have one soulmate. But that's not true. You have probably thousands of soulmates, because we have millions, literally millions, of incarnations. You know, life and death aren't the beginning and the end. Birth and death are not the beginning and the end of our lives. We came from somewhere and we go somewhere. Isn't it amazing? I was talking to my wife about this today. Actually, I should say we were talking about this today, that we know from very young age that we're going to die someday, right? And yet everyone's afraid to die. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Yeah, everyone dies. Is that the end? No. You know, religionists talk about going to heaven or going to hell, but you know, that's too simplistic. We do go someplace. I'm not going to get into where we go or anything. I don't have a personal experience around it, but I've done some studying about it. But it's a transition, and we should see death as a transition. So we transition millions of times in and out of this life, or a life. Now, we don't come back as the same person, but our soul is the same. You are a soul. You don't go with your body somewhere else. You don't take your body, you leave that behind. But you bring your mind. And so you've made many friends in many incarnations, and enemies. Haven't you ever bumped into somebody and you immediately distrust them? You immediately don't like them, and there's no good reason. And your mind will come up with some reason, oh, they have a funny shaped head or something, but that's not it. You know them from the past. And then there's other people you meet, and right away you feel a connection with them, bam. And you had that connection with your husband or your wife. That's a soul connection. And your soulmates. As soon as you choose, in this lifetime, you're my soulmate, that's it. And you should stick to that. You should stick to that. But those feelings may come up with someone else. Now, if you have a really good marriage, and now I'm getting into more of the practical stuff. If you have a really good marriage, even though you may bump into somebody where that feeling is overwhelmingly clear, or your husband does, it won't be acted upon. Because if you're sitting there having an amazing dinner and somebody comes by with some porridge, you're not interested. And so if your marriage is functioning as it's meant to function and as it should be functioning, if you know how, you do have to learn how to be married, then that attraction is a tiny little thing in the grand scheme, and it won't affect the marriage. So, let's hit it from two different points of view. Let's say you're the man, and you're asking, can a man develop feelings for another woman? The answer is yes, you can, but it means that you have not been nurturing the love, the devotion, You have not been flooding your marriage with love, devotion, respect. You haven't been keeping your vows, is another way to say it. And so you should shift. Forget that other woman. Just forget her. You'll see her in another incarnation or 2 or 10. For now, stick with the woman that you're with and make that marriage into marital bliss, which is meant to be. Now, if you're the wife and you're asking, what's up? My husband, I think he's developing feelings for another woman. Well, I'll use the same metaphor. Remember when you were dating, how well you took care of him? How you never criticized him? You never complained to him? You never dumped all your stuff on him? You made sure you were looking great? You made sure you smiled and supported him? And are you still that woman? Or did you do a bait and switch? And I hate to make it sound like you did it intentionally. It's not like that. What happens is we get used to each other and we start receding into the usual crap. But we shouldn't do that, because then you're throwing away the opportunity of having an amazing marriage where you're floating in joy. Floating in joy. Isn't that why you got married, to be happy? Didn't you get married to experience that unconditional love? You know, most people, they say, oh, the wedding day is the biggest day of the bride's life. That's implying that from then it goes downhill. That's insane. It should be continuing. That should be the very beginning. The commitment is there. You've acknowledged each other. You have told each other, I'm going to love you for the rest of my life. I'm going to make your life so joy-filled. It's the beginning. But you didn't do that. It's not your fault. We don't learn these things. And that's why I'm here now with the Marriage Foundation, so that we can re-enliven marriage. Bring people to the reality of what marriage is supposed to be. You're intended, and I think it's marriage, I know. Marriage is a gift from God so that we can feel that joy. He wants us to be happy, but we have to learn how. So, what do? You put your attention on learning how to be married correctly so you get those benefits of your marriage, so that you're floating in joy and this question doesn't become a question anymore. That's what you do. Now I'm going to let you know that I'm creating a training program because we want to recruit hundreds and then thousands of TMF marriage counselors so we could change the world, get rid of this over 50% divorce rate, let people understand marriage for what it is. So if you have an interest, let us know, and we'll let you know when it's on the website. It's not there now. And then you may have an interest in doing that. It's really cool stuff. So thank you. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. God bless you. Come again. Leave a like on the video. Leave a comment if you want. And take care. Blessings to you.